Welcome home. We are WNST. Dallas, Baltimore, Baltimore Positive. It is a busy, busy time of the year. It's the most wonderful time of the year as long as the baseball team keeps playing and the football team can figure out a way to win. Luke is making his way from Owings Mills to Camden Yards, all of it powered up by our friends at Wise Markets in conjunction with our friends at Jiffy Lube Multi Care, keeping Luke powered up and out on the road. Our friends at the Maryland Lottery have me going from crab cake to crab cake. On October the 11th, we're going to celebrate our birthdays. Luke and I, his birthday's the 2nd, mine's 14th, right near Sammy Hagar and Jim Palmer. We're going to be at Pizza John's. Jim Palmer would like Pizza John's. They don't. They don't have. What was it? The chocolate cake that we talked about a couple of weeks ago with Jim Palmer. But they got great pizza pie and also a great crab cake. On the 11th, we'll be doing that. I'll be giving away the Raven Scratch Offs. We will be in the sister neighborhood, dare I say, to Dundalk, Essex. We'll be there down on Back River Neck Road, having a good time, telling the Pizza John story, and hopefully telling the story of the Orioles being in the American League Championship Series. I've told lots of stories around here. I have many friends in the kidney space, National Kidney Foundation. 2-3 times a year, we do a little something for them. They have a couple of little Super Bowls. I love the Sante event. I've gone and supported that many, many times downtown. We are up now on the Kidney Walk because it's fall time right now, and they always try to inspire me by sending me some inspirational person, much like my wife in the leukemia and the bone marrow space. That I get cool people telling cool stories about how they are walking the walk of life after having kidney issues. Sam Cosby joins me now. He is going to help me make this podcast #1 in the world because that's what he does. But he has a kidney story to tell. And have I met you at Sante or someplace? I haven't been to the Kidney Walk as it always happens. Like it's happening October 6th this year before the Ravens play Cincinnati on the road and over at UMBC. People can come. But I'm much more likely to be at the one where you feed your face and
Yeah,
dance and
the
have a good time, you know?
Sante event is always a good time. Always great food, great people, great music, all that.
And great storytelling, like with people like you, who the National Kidney Foundation, Patty sends her best to me each and every year. I saw Vanita about 3 times this year, off the beaten path doing other things from last year, sailing and doing all that. Give me your story, Sam, because I mean, you're here to inspire me today, or at least my friends at Cole Roofing tell me that.
Oh, well, it starts in 2009. I got diagnosed with IgA nephropathy. I was
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
uh,
whoa, whoa! I can't even spell that. Go ahead. What is that?
it's a pretty unique disease, but it basically it'll kill your kidneys eventually.
Okay.
So it was something I didn't know I was born with, and in 2009 summer, right before I went to college for the first time, or no, I was going back for sophomore year, and I
You're a
was in it.
19-year-old kid at this time, right?
Yeah, yeah, and I was sleeping all the time. I couldn't. I had no energy to do anything. I was sleeping like 18 hours a day, and something was wrong. So I went to Hopkins where my mom works and got diagnosed. Also found out my brother had the same thing.
So for you, when you find this out, my wife was diagnosed with leukemia in 2014. We traced it back to 9/11. She was a 9/11 first responder in the program, like all of that. So I think when you don't get an answer and they say it's genetic or environmental in some way, the things that doctors, and by the way, my wife fought 155 nights at Hopkins. So it's kind of
Wow.
inspired me to do this kind of work just in a general sense without chasing Lamar Jackson or Adley Rutschman or Gunnar Henderson around, which I can do in my dreams on television. But I would say for anybody that's walked the walk and been through this, there's that moment where the doctor says you have blank and this might kill you and you're going to need to be brave and you're going to get needles and there's going to be blood and all these things that doctors and fear and call work, call your loved ones, just all of that from a battle standpoint. But trying to understand, you said that you were diagnosed and what happens at that point in your life and where you are in your collegiate experience, right?
So the situation I went into is I went to Hopkins. They immediately put a port in my
You were already sick. Like, yeah, okay.
I was sick. I was probably 2 weeks from dying. And if I didn't go to the hospital or get dialysis treatment. So anyway, they put a port in me. I went on dialysis immediately and we tried to find a match for a kidney transplant.
So, and we had the same situation with There Goes My Hero, and you need a transplant and you need a bone marrow donor, and it's probably somebody you don't know, and it might be somebody you're related to. Um, for you, with finding a match and that period of time where you were clearly in peril to the point where you are today, which is living your best life and walking your best kidney walk on October the 6th over at UMBC. Give me that pathway in 2009 and where you are. And it's always in my life, whenever my wife would say I'm like Mary Lou Henner, I remember everything in my life, but I think, okay, 2009, Joe Flacco and the Ravens, and where was I, and where, what was I doing in my life? And I'm thinking, yeah, your life was shut down, and there's that point between there and here that only you know that road.
Yeah, some people want 2009 Joe Flacco back, I think. Uh anyway, there's
You
so
will never find a bigger Joe Flacco fan than me. I'm the Flacco guy.
bigger than Stavros.
My
Uh
all-time favorite athlete, and I've covered them all. I do this professionally, used to, at least till they threw me out. But Joe's the best of the best. Joe would have been the guy in 2009 that I'd say, Joe, dude, I got this dude named Sam. He's in peril. Give him a call. He would have been the dude calling you.
yeah, I heard he's a great guy.
Yeah.
That's good to hear. But yeah, back to 2009, I was trying to maintain a snowboarding career. I was going to Montana State for economics, and I
Montana State, where is that? Where is that? That's not Bozeman. Where's that?
Bozeman,
It's
yeah,
in Bozeman.
Bozeman,
Okay. All right. I've
yeah,
been to Bozeman.
nice, yeah. It's gotten very popular after Yellowstone and all that.
Yeah, the day I was there, the fires were going on, and Big Sky was just like I had brown soot coming out of my nose. It's like people don't understand those fires. You can't rake them away.
No,
Yeah, but nonetheless, so you're in Montana when this happens. You're not local at that time, no?
well, I was going back. I was planning on going back to Montana for sophomore year, but because I got put on dialysis, we bailed out of sophomore year of college, and I ended up trying to take classes at CCBC, trying to go to UB, University of Baltimore.
I'm alum of both. So there. And they didn't call it CCBC. They called it Dundalk Community College by its God-given name at the time. Yeah, but I mean that was the same pathway I took in life. I went to UB to do what I did. And there's something, school close to home and all that. But for you, I would say you've already plugged Hopkins and mentioned mom and mentioned treatment. My wife was blessed to be 1.6 miles from Johns Hopkins to have her life saved. If you're in Montana, you're not going to get the same kind of care, right?
No, those hospitals are, I mean, if you break your leg, that's fine, but I wouldn't go there for kidney treatment. I mean, National Kidney Foundation is all over the country, but locally to be at Johns Hopkins and their nephrology program, there was a guy named Bob Montgomery and then John Sperati, who's my current nephrologist, that are just fantastic. And I was very lucky to only be on dialysis for about 9 months before I was able to get that swapped kidney.
All right, so let's talk about the swap kidney because
Yeah.
National Kidney Foundation does a lot of things. I've had Dick Cass on my show back when he was the president of the team before he threw me out. That he was a donor. It is an unbelievable story, and people that step forward for all sorts of reasons. It's between them and their creator, and helping people. And everyone like you has somebody like them, and who came along, and you're on that list waiting. And I know what that's like. I mean, I remember when the doctors had here are the 5 matches in the world that could save your life. We're hoping the 19-year-old kid steps up. So for you, what was your pathway to survival, literally?
So I was lucky to have I have a lot of family. I have a big family, especially on my mom's side. And we had people try and test their way into the kidney swap, and nobody matched. So eventually a family member of mine donated to get the swap. And then I believe it was like a 36-way swap at through Hopkins and a ton of
Whoa,
other
whoa, 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 whoa,
hospitals.
whoa! Explain that. Swap.
Yeah, so
I'm not. I don't know that I'm familiar with this, and I'm conjuring up what it might be, and you're going to explain it to me. And I think if it
yeah.
is what I think it is, that's kind of crazy. I mean, again, my wife had a bone marrow transplant from the same man twice in Germany. He's now 31, living his best life, hanging out, going to football games in Frankfurt with my wife, and like all that. But like the odds of all of it, it's when I tell people that, they're like, "That's some crazy shit." You know what I mean? They can't believe it. I think when I hear the kidney side of it, it's even more unbelievable because this kid literally sat in a suite and gave blood that went through a machine and it wiped him out, and he took some shots and it was painful, but it's not the hip thing that people thought 30 years ago. He literally, from his perspective, he gave blood, but times 10. But what a kidney donor goes through is a whole different thing, and I've heard that story.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing the swap program now. I mean, it's way bigger than 36 ways, you know. I think there's 80 hospitals in it, and it's basically sharing a database of kidney donors and trying to match them up. You know, so I ended up,
I'm willing to give when the time
yeah,
comes, call me.
I
Right.
actually, mine came from a woman in Boston. I don't know her name. That's all I know. But it came down from Boston, and my family member was able to give to a person locally. So, you know,
Wow.
it's give and take, and it doesn't. It's not immediate, but I'm actually back on that kidney list. I'm back on dialysis, unfortunately, and
Yeah, you said you're current, and I don't even know how to spell nephrologist. You're teaching me things today. That's not a new term, but it's one I haven't thought of in a while.
kidney doctor. That's all it is.
Well, people ask my wife every day, for the rest of how are you okay? And my wife's like, yeah, I'm kind of cool, man. Like I'm past the 5 year point. I have a whole new. She has a completely different DNA. If she bleeds, she leaves his blood at the scene of the crime. They're twins. It's weird. I say that out loud because people are like, really, really. So there's all of that, but my wife is like graduated. She doesn't even do like once a year anymore, and that would freak us all out if she had to. I think at this point, where are you in your journey? Are you still in peril in some way, or are you okay?
I had 14 good years with my kidney that the kidney swap that I got in 2000. I guess it was 2010, the winter. And you know, eventually the disease I was born with, IgA nephropathy, it takes it takes down the kidney that you have. So 14 years is a really good run. I think most kidney transplants last 5 to 10 years. So anyway,
I did not know that math. I thought like you're good for because my wife feels like God willing, that her DNA, the motherboard, this way it was explained to me, working fine. Kidneys don't work that way, huh?
I mean, depends on what you have in your own DNA, how how good you are with taking your medications. I'm sure how healthy a lifestyle you live, but you get over 10 years with a kidney transplant, you're doing really well. So,
Well, I've never.
you know,
You're really educating me. Sam Cosby is our very courageous guest here, and tell everybody about the walk, and tell me where you are with the walk, and then we'll get back into your own personal situation. If there's
oh
any way
yeah,
we can help you, but this is what people do to help: is they get together and eat and drink at Sante, and they get together and they walk on October 6th at UMBC, right?
yeah, and the walk's even bigger than Santé. I mean, 2,000 people are expected. We've got marching bands coming. We've got coffee. We've got you know, uh, a ton of exciting stuff for everybody that's going to participate.
All right, so I can get everybody out to it's kidneywalk.org/Maryland. Very easy. It's going to be at UMBC. It's right on the campus. It's gonna happen in the morning on Sunday the 6th. This is before the Ravens plays. You get over there. You can park, free parking, all that. Everything is up. They have like a whole kidney walk toolkit. If you click on here, you can find all these cool people raising money and doing different things for people like Sam here. And there's a whole contact sheet here. Everything you need at kidneywalk.org backslash, or excuse me, / Maryland. But if you just go to just Google Kidney Walk, National Kidney Foundation, NKF, our friends Patty, our friends at Sante, and Karen Sagal try to find me with inspirational people. So where are you? So you are in search of a kidney. Is that correct?
I am. I'm lucky to have I have a donor already set up. So right now we're looking for a match through that swap program I mentioned, and
Okay. So I need to educate
hopefully,
people about that swap program. That's important.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So when you do it, the Kidney Foundation actually covers the costs of your donors, like medical everything. So putting them up in the
Wow.
hospital, any support they need after, it's pretty amazing. That's kind of what led me to participating on the board.
I'll tell you what, man, I'll let you go. Do your thing. You live your best life. Try to have some fun between here and there. You're going to be okay. We're going to make sure you're okay. National Kidney Foundation's putting this thing together on the 6th of October. Get on out, walk. I can't promise you good weather, but it's October 6th. It can't suck. I mean, it's maybe a little rain, but there'll be no snow. And I mean, hearing your story, I mean, if the Orioles are eliminated by then, people can come out and make themselves feel better by walking. And if the Orioles are still playing, you come out and make yourself feel better because it'll be an off day for the Orioles in New York next week. I'm trying to be positive about that as the Ravens take on Cincinnati. We're going to be doing the Maryland Crab Cake Tour, not every week in October because I'm planning on the World Series. Our friends at the Maryland Lottery sent us out with these Raven scratch-offs. We're at Costas this week, and we're going to be at Pizza John's on the 11th, also with our friends at Liberty Pure Solutions, eating all of these oysters with the Irish on the months. We have 26 oysters in 26 days to promote the Oyster Recovery Partnership and all that they're doing. Right now, we're promoting the National Kidney Foundation. So for folks that may want to help you, may want to help away, what is the way that they can do that? Like, all right, I'm in, I'm listening, I want to help. National Kidney Foundation is a great facilitator for anybody that would want to donate or think about donating or try to get information on donating.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing is educating yourself, but I mean, the fact is most people only need one, like half of a kidney. So anybody can donate a kidney, and it's a big ask, but you can find out about it on the Kidney Foundation website, and you can hear more about the walk on kidneywalk.org/Maryland.
All right, good, good, good. Hey man, take care of yourself. Hang in there. You enjoy sports, or what do you do? What do you do for fun? You're like, you were like a skier, like you're an X Games. You're one of those kids, right?
There was a time that was I haven't been on a snowboard since 2009, I guess, but I play a lot of golf. I'm at the Green Spring Valley Hunt Club, and then doing a lot of sailing at my family's business, Annapolis Sailing School
All right.
down
Well, then
there.
you are living your best life. I love to hear that. So take care of yourself. I hope to see you on the 6th. I hope to see you at Sante. And I'll be awaiting good news on you, Sam Cosby. All right.
Yeah, thank you
All
so
right.
much.
And I got to, yeah, and in the real world, you do digital marketing and podcasts, right?
I have a business called Club Road Associates. We sell podcast and YouTube ads. It's all Maryland based and named after the street I grew up on. So,
All right. Well, I'm gonna
yeah,
reach back to you in the real world because you asked me before we went on, like if I'd ever like listened to a podcast or heard of a podcast. And see, I'll be honest with you, full shoot here. When people ask me if I have a podcast, I'm like, I've owned a radio station for 26 years and broadcast 40,000 hours of live radio. Like to say I have anybody can have a podcast. There had to be some pre-qualifications to be on the radio back in the day. So I'm always like sort of not offended by it, but I know it's what the kids are buying these days, right? And I have a podcast. You can download it, you can subscribe it, blah, blah, blah. You can go to Apple, you can do all of those things. But I'm still like you can see me on the radio. I'm at AM 1570. You know what I mean? So I'm a little old school in that way, but the podcast world really is the future, right?
I think so. Maybe even more YouTube, but
But
yeah,
it's
I
been built off of what I've laid and Howard Stern has laid and what
absolutely
radio was. It's radio on demand. Basically, if we were going to call it something, I guess the word pod came from the iPod and it's a podcast and I capture it and pull it and listen when I want. But it's basically a
really
conversation on demand is all it is. I mean, you then more than that because a lot of podcasts are a little bit more theatrical and sort of the old way of radio in the 1930s and 40s that were episodal in that way and telling stories. But um, it it's been a great gateway for me because people are used to listening to me jibber jabber all the time anyway.
yeah. Maybe I can bring you some more support, more sponsors.
I love my sponsors. Did I tell you that? Have I told you about the Maryland Lottery? Have I told you about Wise Markets? Have I told you about Jiffy Lube? We're all
I
here.
love them all.
I love them all as well. They power us up. We hope you support them all, including all of our restaurants, all the places we have crab cakes. Great time to tell folks they are the reason we get powered up, that we can help support the National Kidney Foundation, amongst many other things here this month. Sam, you've been a great guest. I will hit you on the digital side. We'll organize that. We're going to get you a kidney. We're going to walk on the 6th of October over at UMBC. Get out to kidneywalk.org. The National Kidney Foundation doing really important work beyond just feeding me different souffles and delicious things at Sante and drinking me all up. You can support them anytime at kidneywalk.org. I am Nestor. We are WNST, AM 1570, Taos, Baltimore, from Owings Mills down to Camden Yards. Baseball, and my fingers crossed. And football, my toes crossed. Back for more. Baltimore Positive. Stay with us.